I set it to multi-stream, and we are live to the world. Hello, world. I am Eric. This is Amir. We are going to be talking about data analysis topics today. And Amir, would you like to start by introducing yourself? A fair warning, I may ask you to do this a couple of times as people trickle in.
hmm Thank you again, Eric, for having me. My name is Amir Koilar. I'm a recent data analyst, scientist. Just broke into the field, and then I'm happy to be here.
Great. Well, since you are, as you mentioned, a recent entrant to the field, and I know that we both studied at Metis, I think maybe a good place to start would be just to talk about our Metis experience and maybe some of the projects that we worked on there. So what
Yeah,
was
of course.
what was one of your projects that you'd like to say something about?
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting ones that I did, we do. So when you do the data science and machine learning, you do um, seven projects, and then my most interesting one was the unsupervised NLP that I did um, for Twitter. I think during that time when I was studying for that project in NLP. It was when the climate change conference was going on
Hmm.
in Glasgow. Yeah, and then that one was getting a lot of traction on Twitter and also on media, just because they wanted to see how all these politicians and everyone, all the governments around the world, how they are going to react towards towards this climate change. We know the last and this climate, like, it's called COP26, and the one before that was the big controversial one that US came out of it. But this one, they were expecting the US government to again enter and then just make a lot of progress in comparison to the last one. So I think that was my most interesting project that I did.
That's great. And for that project,
Yeah,
you mentioned unsupervised learning. You mentioned NLP. What
correct.
what were the and you mentioned that Twitter was the data source. What were some of the ways
hmm
that you honed in on the specific Twitter data that you wanted to have, or was it because I imagine you couldn't have just taken everything from the Twitter firehose?
Um, I did an API from Twitter in the beginning, and then it was just they have an API that just provides everything to you. Honestly, it's super easy to use Twitter. What I did, I just scraped Twitter with the API that it had, and I chose some specific hashtags to use to that it was going on. I researched on like on the web and also on Twitter just to see what are the most used hashtags, and I scraped using those hashtags um, for the projects that I did. Um, it came out to be very interesting. The only thing that it was um, one of the things that it was very interesting about it, because the whole climate conference was going on for every 2 weeks, and then eventually, what you did, the the responses and the topic modeling that we were doing, it would change every 3 days. So for the first 3 days, the topic modeling that I was doing, well, in the beginning, I was just learning that how to do it. But in the second week, that it was just I was topic modeling was just working, and then I was running that model on the API. You could see that it would change. Like in the first week that I did it, the 15 topics that I chose to do, it was I remember the top three was just climate change, and it just is like, and then another one was they were talking about some countries are not stepping forward. I think the governments, it was like China, and then they were not signing something, a contract or whatever, and then eventually that switched. It became a little bit more positive. People were talking about um, um, how now they have stepped in. They've signed this contract now. So it became a little problem, and you could see how this trend is switching between maybe the first week, oh, what's going to happen, and eventually in the second week, oh, has happened. Let's do this. Let's see what's going to happen. We're happy that this happened. Or like in comparison to the week before, it was like we need this to happen. Like coal emission needs to go down, and eventually the second one, it was like, oh, it happens. They signed something, and then the you could see how it was basically changing. So it was very interesting.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there anything more you'd like to say on that one, or should we move on to?
Yeah. I think eventually, if I had more time, I would have scraped more, just to see, because I had to, and then I think that the conference was going on for about 2.5 weeks, and then I had my project done before that 2.5 weeks. I really wanted to see what happened on the day that the conference finished, and eventually a little bit after,
Hmm,
just to see how it switched, and then eventually just do an analysis, a time series maybe of the first week, second week, and third week, how these topics changed, and then what topic disappeared, and eventually what topics appeared to be more interesting of people around the world. Another thing would have been cool to use translation on, because I did only English, um, and I think just it would have been a good perspective to see what other people from other countries with other languages are talking about, and that would have been cool.
that would have added a whole new level of complexity, though.
Right, right. That would have been for sure interesting.
Well, great.
Yeah.
I let's see. Do you have either for that or for another project?
Hmm.
Do you have actually no? I remember what I was going to say. Um,
Okay.
I was going to say let's for the viewers, let's break down the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning
Right.
for machine learning algorithms.
Well, so we get two kind of data usually: a supervised and unsupervised version. Supervised version is when it's structured. Um, Most simplest way you can get it is just like if you want to describe it, it's like an Excel sheet. Everything there's rows, there's columns, everything's described. Yes, you might get like um, nulls or like not a clean data, but it's structured. It's um, yeah, unsupervised learning. It's
I actually
unstructured data.
I just thought of a way to visualize that for the viewers.
Okay, sure.
There's the Kaggle Titanic data set.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with this one?
I think I've seen it. Yeah, maybe somebody on, no, not on cohort. Um, I don't think they use it, but um, let's see it.
Let's see, overview. So overview.
Hmm.
Um, in this competition, you will use. Let's see if I can find. Let's data sets is what I'm looking for. Oh no,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's a different section. Well, the point is, it shows a set. Yeah, it looks like an Excel spreadsheet with various
Hmm.
columns, and in the columns are
Correct.
things like ticket class, maybe age, maybe gender, maybe some other
Hmm.
details that they
Hmm.
would have had record
Hmm.
of. And then in the most rightmost column, a one or a zero,
Hmm.
which means survived or not survived.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Interesting.
that's the supervised part. That's the known
Correct.
outcome.
Hmm.
And um yeah, the data has to be structured and it has to have an answer included
Right. An
in
X and
it.
a Y basically over here.
Yeah, an X and a Y. I'll
Right.
so X and Y.
Correct. So you have an answer you are working for, in the most basic way, if you want to say it, or you're just trying to see what you're trying to do with a structured, um, data or supervised structure, it's that you have your why, with the data that you have, let's say, um, I haven't seen the data yet, but let me see if I can bring it up so I can be more precise.
And I'll see if I can
Uh,
also find my way into.
yeah. Um,
This looks like predictions, and I'm not as interested in a prediction file as I am in.
mhm. You don't want to do it. I was gonna describe. Oh, it only has passenger ID, survived, didn't survive. Maybe a data with more. Um, oh, there you go. Okay, gotcha. So it says name, sex, age, and SIB SB. I don't know what that is. Parch, ticket, fare. Am I looking at the right one?
Yeah, that's the.
Okay. So let's say, I guess in super wide, are we talking about the analysis, or we're not talking about the prediction, are we?
Up to you.
Okay. So let's say I'm a kind of I like predictions.
Hmm.
So let's say the data says the first person, Mr. Kelly James, with the passenger ID 892 and peak, and then the class of 3 survived. And then what the prediction does and what you do with the data, I'm like, okay, in comparison, when you do an analysis with the other data and the behavior of everything else, would have Mr. James survived or not? So you get in another answer, say a classification model. So you're just like, hey, in the model that we did, would have he survived or not? And you get another 0 and 1 answer. And then you compare your answer with the answer that you have with the data. So the y that you have and the predicted y. That's what we do in a structured data and supervised learning. And if I'm missing something, please add, Eric.
Sounding so far so good.
Okay, cool. And then with unsupervised, if I want to jump into it, with unsupervised, it's unstructured data and you don't have a Y. So it's all X. And then what you're trying to do, you're trying to use the model to cluster all these X's together. And let's say topic modeling being one of them. You try to you use the machine and these libraries to come up with these topics, like the Twitter that I was talking about. We don't know what are people talking about, but putting it into these libraries and just writing code and doing all those stuff, it gives you all. You just put like, hey, I want 15 topics, 10 topics, 3 topics, and then you get the you start looking at these data that the machine structures it for you or like organizes it for you, and then you get these topics. So for the NLP project that I did was climate change. It was coal emission and then reducing coal emission, and then the other one that I just slipped out of my mind right now. Yeah,
That is okay. Um,
yeah.
do you have code of or like visualized outputs of that model somewhere?
I I probably have my Jupyter notebook, but I could share my presentation. I think it was a very interesting one. I put a lot of time into that, and then I could share that if you guys want. If you want,
We
um,
do, I want to speak up. We have a comment on Twitch. Bad Cop asks, "Is the data analyzed yet?" Which I think is
um,
which I think is just kind of a cheeky question that, we've been here 15 minutes. Why haven't we analyzed the data yet? I
Oh,
could be mistaken, but I think that's where this commenter is coming from.
is it the Titanic one or the NLP one that we've been talking about?
I don't know, but we've got a emoji smiley face that probably has some cultural significance to it that I'm missing. But
Gotcha.
let's just keep going on the tack
For
that we
sure.
were on, which is if you can. I know you have I know you have a GitHub profile.
I do.
Is some of this stuff on there?
I could look it up for you right now. Uh, I don't know if my presentation should be on there. Yes. Um,
I think you had it. I'm not going to show your LinkedIn on the stream, but I'd like to show your GitHub with your permission on the stream.
for sure, of course.
Um, Here it is
As a
under.
res x koi,
Got it.
and should be um, yeah. If you go on NLP Twitter dialogues, COP26, and there is a NLP COP26 presentation file. Right in the middle.
COP26 presentation.pdf.
There you go. That's the one.
Can I don't want to open it in GitHub desktop, but it looks like we can see it while I'm.
Just do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
So as you can see, it's.
Oh, and
I gave a description of what was going on beforehand. People, all the governments going into this climate exchange or COP 2026 or climate exchange conference 2021. I just gave a little description about it, how they were trying to limit global warming below 1.5 degrees, adapt to the impact of climate change, so everybody just agrees, and then make finances available for aims. So basically, trying to make sure this happens, make sure this is a serious thing that's going on. That's why you had big speakers in the beginning. What is that guy who comes and talks on with the documentaries? Oh man, words are slipping away from me today. Anyways, on Netflix, there's this guy, the British guy who talks on these animal documentaries, and then just he was a speaker in the beginning, and then he got a lot of traction because of that. The whole conference did, and then so what it made it so important, this one rather than the other one that was happening in Paris. I don't know if you remember 4 or 5 years ago. So the Paris Agreement, it just didn't go well. And then this year, the 2021 was very important. If you scroll down, so what I was trying to do, just be like, hey, what are the general conversations that people are having in regards of COP26? And then the solution was to do an unsupervised NLP for the tweets surrounding the COP26. And those were the hashtags that I was using: COP26, climate exchange together for our planet, climate crisis, and Glasgow COP26. So that Glasgow is where the COP26 conference was happening. So if you scroll down again, impact and success, raise awareness for participating governments regarding important topics discussed by people around the world. So this project that I did would raise awareness for just governments and people around the world, just to see what everyone is talking about. As one of the platforms, just Twitter, what are people's concerns? What are they usually talking about? And again, I wish I could do other languages on here. That would be a very cool thing to add to this. Yeah, and then go ahead. So the data and pre-processing, I did 10,000 tweets, 2,000 hashtag per hashtag, and then that was from October 25th to November 5th. And then scrape. Those are the libraries that I used, and then yeah. So for pre-processing, you see regex, numpy, pandas, and lang detect. That's the one I used to do. Just focus on English, and then scikit-learn, and then NLTK. And then eventually for data analysis, I did word cloud and Seaborn and Matplotlib.
I
And then go
like
ahead.
this. Before we move forward, I like this name, Snowball Stemmer.
Uh-huh.
And can you talk a little bit about what a stemmer is in NLP? Partly because I like the name, and partly because stems are an interesting idea in NLP.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm trying to refresh my memory. Um, so what you do in NLP, and I'm just trying to be very um, simply talking. So you get the tweet, and then these tweets, you want to shorten them down, like make them so much brief that they are as common as possible with the other tweets. So you want to bring it down to the core of the word. So basically clean all these tweets down all the way to the core of the word of each tweet. So then the machine can compare and do the topic modeling together. What it does, so what you do, that's eventually the snowball stemmer comes to help. It's that, let's say with one of the tweets, what happened is just you have a tweet, you clean, so your tweet is 280 characters, and you get hashtags and links with it, or a video, or anything. You want to clean the hashtags, you want to clean the videos, all the links that are with it. So you're now with characters, something with characters. Sometimes you're getting emojis with it. You want to, it depends how you're trying to work with the emojis. Sometimes emojis could be incorporated into your topic modeling, and I don't think I did it over here. So I brought it down to words, so all the words in a tweet, and eventually you do um, um, you you bring your you take away the unnecessary words in there, like the, or like on, like just little connecting words that are in a tweet. And then you get to some simpler um, version of your tweet. After that, you go into that stem word that it's saying. You try to bring your verbs, let's say anything that is in past tense or in the um, in the present, using like a present word like ing or anything. You bring everything down to the present. Just be like, and simple present tense, and then
So
let's
let's
say.
so let's say
Mhm,
like present tense. Let's say the present tense word
mhm.
is protest. What would
Yes.
be like the past tense or the other tenses that would
So
have to be?
protested and protesting, right? Will
Okay.
come to, everything will switch to protest, right? So present tense, and then um, there is a better. I want to. I know a better example, or like, or maybe you get a word called like protestable, or like profitable. Let's say profitable, profited, profiting, profitable, right?
Hmm.
And then it takes away that um, LBE in the end, so it's just profit. So that makes it, easier for the computer to, for the model to compare and find that word, that stem word in the other tweets, and compare it, and then just put them in the same group. That's what the topic modeling does, and stemming is. And then that's what it is. And then what I was telling you about stop words that I have over there, that's the one that it takes out the unnecessary wording um, in the topic in the tweet.
How much information would you say? This is a hard hitting question, but how much information would you
Mm.
say gets lost in the losing the stop words and finding the stems, like um
Mm-hmm.
profited versus will profit,
Mm.
the past tense versus future tense, they come down to the same stem, but has it lost some
Right.
context about the meaning of the message?
Uh, Very good question, Eric. I do believe. I mean, I've only done this project to be honest with you because I've just broken into the thing, but I do think maybe it's just a little percentage. I don't think that much will get lost with Twitter. I think, but I don't. I'm not sure. If you have more experience, please do share. Um,
To,
but I
to tell
feel
you where
like
I'm coming
with
from, I've also just done one project in NLP, and then I did a little bit of
right.
just researching on my own a little bit recently.
Mm,
But these are just some the things that I'm curious
yeah.
about as we go through it.
I don't know with stemming you can lose any, but with stop words you definitely can.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
Stop words, as I remember, because it gives you a package of words that it's going to take out from the Twitter. Um, but you can add to it, or you can take some words out of it because it's just a package. Be like, hey, these words will, the, on, or like some other ones. It's like a 20, 30, 40 words in there, and it just when you apply that, it just takes all those words out. Um, but you can, in comparison to if you really research the things that are been talking about and are in your tweets, you can modify that, and that will definitely help you in that regard.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Did I stop you before I think I maybe stopped you before you got to word cloud.
Yeah,
Um,
no, we're good.
we're good.
So word cloud is just those are visualizations. Word cloud, Seaborn, Matplotlib. Those are the ones just for graphing and then visualization, just to show what was going on. I think eventually, if you scroll down, I have some visualizations, and we could see that.
Okay.
So these are the methodologies I've used. So NMF is the methodology, and I was using 15 components. That's how many topics that I wanted to produce. And then the tweet topic matrix, how many it was, and then word topic matrix, how many it was. Um, I'm trying to show in the graph, as you can see, I'm putting all these tweets with different colors that I've designed it for. It goes to bag of words model, and then eventually goes to topic modeling, and then what the topic modeling NMF produces for me, it's the topics. Um, um, each one you see it's been separated differently, um, and then on top frequently of words and topic, and yeah. So eventually let's go to the next. I want to get to the topics. There you go. So results, as you can see, the first one I try to put it in the book graph. So it's climate change, and then the topics that I try to put the graph of the world. So you see climate change. There's some other ones in the middle. Those are the topics that I've been described. If you can zoom in, I don't know if you can. I can't see it right now, but I can do it. I can look at it right now. Here you go. I got it. So it says crisis, help, climate change. Um,
Well, if you can't see it, my viewers maybe can't see it either. So hopefully I can help by
okay.
zooming in a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna read it for everyone. So crisis, health, climate change, help. These are the main ones that I can see. Um, yeah. So and then the tweets in regards to the topic one, which is climate change, it was like climate change is
Oh wait, I was
is
on the
impacting
wrong.
our
I was on the
yeah,
wrong
yeah, the first
topic.
one.
Oh, okay,
No
we're talking
worries.
about the
That
first
one.
one. Okay.
Correct, correct. So I was looking at the graph of the world that I've tried to put on. So it says climate, health, change, crisis, impact, and then the topic that the model got here was climate change. As we can see in the histogram in the bottom, so the most important words were climate, change, crisis, help, impact, health, report, fight. It's just climate and change and are the most biggest ones. And we can see the topics that he was like why our climate targets keep changing and how that helps fight climate change even if we miss them. These are the just as example of tweets that it got this topic for us. Let's scroll down again.
Before I do, we've just got a
Yeah,
question from a viewer. Kay from YouTube asks, "Who is this?" So Amir, if you wouldn't mind, like I said, I did warn you I might ask you to introduce
yeah.
yourself once or twice. But
So
Amir is on. Let's see, we've on alumnus. Is that the right one? I'm afraid I already forgot. But
well, alone. Let's just
alum,
do alone. So
alum
it's like
that
alone.
simplifies it. Yes.
Yeah,
So of the Metis data science and data analysis,
correct.
what do they call it? A boot camp still?
Yeah, it's Metis Bootcamp, and I did the cohort for data science and machine learning, and I graduated in January 7th, so fairly new to the field.
Hmm. And this is Amir
Yeah,
that we're speaking to.
correct. Um, so I did three topics in my presentation. The second topic that the model found was burning coal and countries signing the coal pledge. Um, Again, if we look at the histogram, so country, coal, power, commit, develop, and then let me just add in something over here. Remember, we were talking about stemming.
Hmm.
If you look at the histograms in the bottom, that's how it can
Like COUNTRI. Is that an example of a stem?
yes, that's how country gets simplified. So you get countries, country, and that's how the computer simplifies it for itself. You see, like how commitment has done commit and a development and develop. How do you see how simplified it gets like that?
I also
Like
notice,
pledge.
yeah, a
Mm-hmm.
pledge PLEDG. That's an
Right,
example.
right. Um, if and I mean, and then again, I'm sure we can see it in the other slides as well. But again, so this topic was burning coal and countries signing the pledge. Is like I'm just reading some of the other. Burning coal is the single biggest cause of climate change. At least 23 countries have today made new commitments to phase out coal power. So do you see, like, these are the little words, all these words that we see on the bottom of the histogram are embedded into these tweets, and you can see the stem of each one in these tweets,
Hmm.
which is very interesting. Let's go to the next one.
Before we go to the next one, I want to
Yeah,
point out something I noticed
yeah, of
between
course.
topic one and topic two. Topic one, we have just about everything of importance is on climate and change. Whereas this
Correct.
one, I noticed there's a more gradual drop off.
Mm-hmm,
What
mm-hmm.
does that changing pattern tell us?
What do you mean by gradual drop off?
Well, like for here we go 1.4, what is this, 1.2, and then on less
Right,
than
right.
0.2. Whereas here we've got maybe 1.3,
That's the
1.1,
importance.
and then
Mm-hmm.
1.6. So it's like there's a more broad spread of which are the important
Gotcha.
words.
I just feel like climate change here for the first topic, since it was already one of the hashtags that I used, it just came out to be one of the topics as well. And just because the topic of the conference is called Climate Change Conference 2021, that's why it's just so bold. It's just climate change, and that's why it came out as a topic.
That makes sense.
Um, yeah. On the other one, burning coal and countries signing the coal pledge, and it's not at part of the hashtags that I um, search for. That's why maybe you get it more spread out, and then the drop off that you were mentioning in comparison to the first topic. Um, you see some countries are actually being mentioned in this topic as well. So like you see China, Australia, India. So there were a lot of topics into them. That's why the importance histogram shows it. So it is meaningless because I'm just reading a tweet again. It is meaningless because India and China are not included. Some of those committed have already phased out coal. Some of those who committed used next to nothing. And then you see, and then in the bottom one as well, you see more than 40 countries at the United Nations Climate Change Conference commit to end the coal, but some of the biggest users of coal, like the U.S., China, India, did not sign the coal pledge. And just this is my gathering, and all the scraping that I did is just for the first half of the conference that I did.
Right.
So a lot has changed for sure after. Yeah, let's go to the next one. Um, see on the last topic that I did. So this one, the topic came out to be the crisis of global warming. And then as we can see the STEM words were global, warm, crisis, but global is just like how you see the importance factor is like 2.0. Warm, crisis, conference, human, truth, and then uh, just reading off of the tweets, the cost to reduce the global warming. COP26 has actually made me cheer for global warming. These activists comparing themselves to the surrogates and are at best dangerously delusional. But these are some funny stuff that you can see over there. So you see
Hmm.
how basically the stem of each word is basically again embedded in these tweets. Yeah. Again, if you want to look at how the stemming work, that library that we talked, um, so global warming crisis, you see how it has changed crisis, and then conference, emission. Let's look at emission, how it has changed emission and reduce all the way in the bottom. You see those? It's emiss and reduc.
Oh, here on the
On the histogram. It's
emiss
very
and reduc.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Emiss and reduc. That emission and reduc, it just gets simplified to those, just for it to go find all the other tweets in with the same root of word. Yeah, so that was the topic modeling that I did, unsupervised topic modeling and for NLP, um, which I found very interesting in comparison to all the things that it's been happening with respect to climate change, and it's an important factor right now these days.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then just the final intakes that I had, like NLP model correctly distinguished three of the main topics of the COP26 conference. People around the world are closely following the decisions that are daily made in the conference. People demand immediate action and the truth towards global warming. It's a global request for countries to come together and act as one in this decade, because they wanted to make sure the uh, the temperature of the globe goes down 1.5 degrees in the next till 2030. So that was one of the things everyone wanted. They want all the governments to sign. Yeah.
Okay.
And then in the future work, I think some of the things that I mentioned to you was getting um, besides these, I wanted to scrape tweets with other languages and also more tweets in the coming um, days after the conference was finished, and then eventually do a time series, just how these topic models are changing eventually. That would be a cool project to do after this. Yeah, and then the last page, it's a quote from the president of COP26. The people who have done the least to cause the climate crisis are suffering the most. That is a searing injustice. Yeah.
Okay, and that is the
presentation.
presentation. So of that, I'm still a little bit. So I'm interested to look into some of the code behind the presentation, but I'm also a little bit stuck on the idea of this NLTK Snowball stemmer.
Yeah, let's dive in deeper.
I'd like to dive a little bit into that. So it says, this module provides a port of the Snowball stemmers developed by Martin Porter. There is also a demo function, snowball.demo. So this is a pretty bare bones documentation. Although the following languages are supported, there's quite a few languages. Porter an algorithm for suffix stripping. For more information available, snowball.tartarus.org. Let's take a look at that. This is the old website for the Snowball system, preserved for historical reason. There are many references to it in the published literature, but now no longer maintained. Snowball development continues on GitHub, and the new website for Snowball is at snowballstem.org. See below links for the Snowball Discuss archives. Well, let's check out snowballstem.org. We're going through all kinds of links here. Snowball is a small string processing. Oh, what are you doing? 1Password. Okay, that's fine. It didn't show any passwords.
Yeah.
Snowball is a small string processing language for creating stemming algorithms for use in information retrieval, plus a collection of stemming algorithms implemented using it. It was originally designed and built by Martin Porter. Martin retired from development in 2014. Sorry about that. In 2014, and Snowball is now maintained as a community project. Martin originally chose the name Snowball as a tribute to Snowball, or Snowball, the excellent string handling language from the 1960s. It now also serves as a metaphor for how the project grows by gathering contributions over time. The Snowball compiler translates the Snowball program into source code in another language. Currently, Ada, ISO, C, C#, Go, Java, JavaScript, Object, Pascal, Python, and Rust are supported. So this one over here, this NLTK, provides a port of the Snowball stemmers developed by Martin Porter. Why did I say Powler? Porter, yes. So this is talking about stemming and connections, connective, connected, connecting, all go to connect. So a searching for connected would also find documents which only have the other forms. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Very good. So that was Snowball. And the other thing was, is there a part of the code that you'd like to emphasize?
Yeah. So if do you see stop words stemming number 4?
Sure.
There you go. So if you I'm happy. This is it's one of the I started having cleaner code after I think after the third or
Okay.
fourth project that I did. Yeah. I want to make sure that I am using that one, that library. Well, let's just take a look at this because I think this is interesting what happens. So as you see, the data frame that I have is the Twitter ID and then content, remove the links, I've described it pretty well. What basically is just what I've done eventually with each what happens to each tweet. So it's like removed user, removed hashtag, removes AV. I think that's audio, and then token, the tokenizer and lementization. I can't say that. It's a very difficult word for me. So this is what I've got it to. But eventually, when I wanted to go to the root, if you scroll to, I want to see, where is it? NLTK corpses. If you go down, it goes to stop words removed, and then all the way down. If you go all the way down, you see
Here's
the
Snow.
final data. That's the one. Oh, there you go. You found it.
Yeah, understemming.
Yes, understand. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so you can do snow.stem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I kind of want to play around with this. I wonder how quick. I wonder how hard it would be to. Um, okay, installing NLT. Is it just pip install? Yeah, it's that
Pip
easy.
install. Yeah.
Let's try this. I'm on my
Yeah.
base thing. I don't mind installing it on my Conda base right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, IPython. Um, let's see. Let's import NLTK. Okay, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
Snow equals nltk.stem.snowball stemmer English.
Mm-hmm.
And then snow, oops, snow.stem absolutely. Close paren. Absolute.
Yep.
What if I misspell it though? That's an
It's
interesting
just
result. It
it's just
tried.
a yeah. It's still oh, there you go. Absolute.
What are other words that are like absolutism? Is that even a word?
What was the word that I had in was it emission? Um, right.
Goes down to
Okay, let
emiss.
me emiss, and then let me find you other.
How about emit?
Uh,
Interesting. So emit comes to a different thing than emissions.
hmm.
What about snow.stem of snowball? Interesting.
Trying to find other versions.
Yeah, what's another?
Ooh. It's interesting because zero emission is a one word separated with a dash. Let's see what that does to that. Does it?
It leaves the zero
Oh,
unchanged, but does the emiss part.
it does. It does do something on that. Let me see what else. Um, I'm on Merriam-Webster, maybe some other. Hmm. There was another word that I had as well. Hold on. Um, Foundation. Maybe to look at the reduce, right?
Okay, snow.stem reduce.
Mm-hmm. Becomes
REDUC.
redundant. Right.
How about reduction?
Interesting. I would have thought that reduction comes out to reduce as well. Maybe there's another one that
This is
there's
really
another
interesting.
library that just changes, brings down reduce and reduct into one.
What if I
What
give
if, what
it
if you
just
put
reduct?
what if you put reduct? Oh, reduct is reduct.
And reduc
Those
is
are
reduc.
mm,
What about, this is just sound association at this point, but
yeah.
duckling. Duckle. You might be able to make an argument that duckling should go to duck.
I would assume so. So this is kind of strange that it doesn't. Um, Maybe there's another library that eventually we have to use, like after stemming, so like lementization, um, or before it. I'm trying to bring in the code again just to see, because that can't be right. That will throw off the machine for sure. I want to see.
I think it's not a well, I'm trying to go way too fast through this.
Mm,
But it looks like it's just a set of rules that, like, if it has this sort of ending to it, then
it
the
just takes it
changes
out.
take it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes out ing. It takes out ing. Takes out ed. Um, so then let's see. I want
Means short V R1
to
R2
nada.
steps externals stem groupings V VWX. Define V A E I O U Y. Define V W X Y as V plus WXY. Backward mode. Define short V as non dash VWXYZ. V non V. Yeah, I don't know what much of that means.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have been talking for almost an hour, so I'm going to call on the BRB screen and take us on a stream break.
Okay. Interesting though. That this is something to look into. Um, just to see how can you make this better? Self-indulge, ego trip. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I think this is a very interesting topic for people to get into, and if they want to explore more into the unsupervised learning world, or they're interested in to find topics of people's dialogues and conversations regarding anything on Twitter. So something like what do you call it? The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Um,
Now, there would be a lot of data about that one right
oh,
now.
for sure. Yeah. Um, yeah, that would be interesting to follow on Instagram and see what. Just do like a classification model of eventually on topic modeling, just to see what percentage of people are like Team Johnny or Team Amber.
You
That'd be
might have to
very
get into
interesting.
sentiment analysis at that point
Yeah, sentiment analysis. You're right. You're right. That would be a very interesting thing
if
to
you want
do.
to set people on teams.
Yeah,
If
that
you're
would be a cool thing to do.
Mhm. All right, I'm
Okay.
gonna put up the 5 minute timer on the Twitch screen with a BRB
Okay.
logo that is going around, so they don't see us at the moment.
Okay. All right. They don't hear us as well, right?
They do hear us actually,
Okay. Cool.
so it's good you asked.
Um, anything else you want to talk about? Maybe.
Um, I'm trying to think of what we could. We kind of covered a good bit of ground.
Hmm.
I might change gears into coding game. At which
Okay.
point you'd be welcome to to either hang around or to call it a day on the stream.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with coding game?
I'm not. I've never done it before, so I'd be. Um, I will observe what you'll be doing because I this sounds very interesting to me. I would like to definitely do this on my some time, but I would call it a day. But I will be here, and I'll just look at you, see how does this work. I think this is gonna be interesting. One of the things I think everyone should just remember, and it's um, just an experience that I've learned past the boot camp. You have to keep practicing coding, keep on practicing, and if you stop for a while, it's just gonna go away. It's just practicing language, just any language that you're trying to learn. Let's say Spanish, um, it'll just go away. So just stick to it. Hour a day, just go on lead code or just anything simpler or whatever. Just try to um, stay fresh, right?
Right.
What do you? Yeah.
And coding game is
All right.
similar to leak
Mm-hmm.
code. It's just
Mm-hmm.
there's a social aspect. It like well, you'll see it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm excited to see how you do this. Um, but thank you again, Eric, for having me. Um, this is very interesting what you're doing. I think, and if you have me again, it will be a pleasure to have just join you again on this, and then do these one more of these, and maybe by that time I'm good at coding game. And we
Yeah,
can,
maybe we can face off at that.
yeah, yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
yeah, yeah. I'll talk to you soon.
So yeah.
All right, bye.
Oh, I'm out of time on the pardons to the viewers, but I'm going to request another 5-minute stream break while I get things set up here for coding game. Okay, we are rolling. Getting ready to get into some coding game. Alright, let's start us a private clash. We'll go for shortest code, all languages allowed. Drop this in the chat. In case anyone wants to drop in. What's gonna happen if I don't have another player? Is it gonna launch anyway? Oh, it's gonna. Oh no. It's gonna keep waiting. I kind of want to see how long this waiting game can last. I don't know if anyone watching is going to enjoy that, but I wish I had the link command set up. I think that might be a Nightbot thing, because I don't see one for it over here. Maybe I'll just join a clash. I'll let this one go down one more time. If anyone needs the link to join, shout out. Hey, I need one more person in this clash. Let me give you the link if you don't mind. I can post the link. Here it comes. Says I have time for a few clashes. Very excellent. Pass the maximum number of tests with the lowest code size. Given a mapping from the characters 1 equal A, 2 equal B, 3 equal C, 26 equal Z, and an encoded message code. Count the number of ways it can be decoded. Oh. For example, the message 111 could give 3 possible encodings, since it could be decoded as 111 AAA, 111 KA, 111 AK. Input a string code of length n. Huh. So it's about breaking it down into pieces. Because I have to decide whether to take them 1 by 1 or 2 by 2. Nums equals code X or X in code. I'm stumped. Read equals none. If not, previous prev equals num. What if we think about it like in terms of combinatorics? What if we take... What if we break it into all of the possible things and then find out which of them, like all the puzzle combinations, and then find out which of those are valid? But how do I find that? It's about squashing together these two, or squashing together these two. If we have more ones, then there are more possibilities. Like we can squash them together like this, or like this. Oh, this is nasty. Like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Comment. What does the data structure look like when I put them together? It looks like 11, 1, so on. What's the problem? Hey TV Josh, thanks for stopping by. The problem is, given a mapping from numbers to characters, 1 equal A, 2 equal B, 3 equal C, etc., and an encoded message code, count the number of ways it can be decoded. For example, the message 111 would give 3 possible decodings, since it could be decoded as 111 AAA, 111 KA, 111 AK. Def generate possibilities of code. Yeah, this is... I don't mind admitting that I am stumped by this one. Maybe recursion? Yeah, could be. We can think of like 2s and 1s. Sorry, TV Josh, that still doesn't work, but I can get it to you, I think. You just have to have me trained really well that every time I see exclamation point link, I send it out. Generate possibilities. I'm thinking of like a branching strategy where like either it's 1 or it's 2, and then the next one it's either 1 or it's 2, where this number is how many you're taking at once. Maybe I need a list of them. I don't know if that's the answer. So let's solve this one by hand and see if that gives us any intuitions. 2, 6, 2, 6. That can be 26 and 26, or it can be 2 and 6 and 2 and 6, or it can be 26 and 2 and 6, or it can be 2 and 6 and 26. Or it could have potentially been 2 and 62 and 6, but that one's not valid. That's valid. That's valid. That's valid. That's valid. So it'd be easy enough if once I've generated these, I can check whether they're valid by checking whether every number is within 1 to 26, but I'm stumped on how to generate these. Gonna try this hello case to see. There are 13 different ways to interpret that. Presumably one of them happens to be hello. The input is just a string of digits. Yes, it is just a string of digits. Like 111. And I had broken it apart into a list of numbers, thinking that I could eventually like smush things together. Like nums 0, well, a list of nums 0 plus nums 1 nums that plus nums 2 to all. And then if I print nums, that gets me to that 11.1. But I have to be able to do this flexibly at like all the different places. Okay, minute and 30. I'm not going to get this one. Print answer. Play all test cases. Oh, it doesn't play them all if you fail one of them. That's reasonable. All right, let's see if someone else has more luck than me. Congrats, you've reached level 4. Neato. Has 33% in Perl. Print 0 bar 5 times rand. I don't actually know. It says I'm impressed with 33%. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. It prints a random number 0 to 5. Okay. Yeah, that's honestly a little bit impressive. It's better than mine. Mine just prints answer. Random number 0 to 5. Let's see if Moon Patroller is going to give us anything. TV Josh says ran out of time. That's fair. I would not accuse this coding game of being an easy one. Let's see what we got. If s equals 0, none, else if s.length less than 2, and s.toInt scala.io.standardin._, object solution extends app. Else if s.length less than 2, sum of 1 What is SOME? Else if S is 0 greater than 2 or S of 0 equal to or S1 equal 6? What? R of S dot tail. Okay, so we do have some recursion going on. TV Josh says, got all but last 2 test cases. But got none of the hidden test cases. Says it's like return none versus return n in Python. That still feels a little mysterious to me. TV Josh is kinda, but different and better. But the sum n is the same type as none. Interesting. Let's go for another one. See if I have better luck this time. Get the link over there. Says, are you a software developer for a living? I am about to be a data engineer for a living, and I'll leave it up to the chat to decide whether that's a software developer or not. I'll give us another 30 seconds and then I'll launch it. I say about to be because I just left a support engineer role and I'm starting up as a data engineer on Tuesday. Says cool. Thanks. He says good luck too. Thank you. All right, I said 30 seconds. Let's go. Flash now. You have found an old radio on your grandparents' attic. The odd thing is that it has no speakers or anything else. There's just a green lamp that is flashing. Your task is to output the transmitted message. You shortly figure out that it transmits ASCII codes. The radio always transmits 3 binary values as strings with 0b as prefix. The first 2 inputs are characters, ASCII. The third is a checksum, which is calculated by XORing the first 2 values, and the global checksum. Some values have been corrupted and are now either 0b1111 or 0b00. You have to use the checksum to recreate the corrupted value. Ouch. Line 1, an integer n for the number of signals transmitted by the radio. Okay. Line 2, an integer c for the global checksum, which you need to get the corrupted value. Line n, 3 spaces separated by strings, char1, char2, and checksum for 1 transmission cycle. They are formatted as binary numbers with the prefix 0b. Output the transmitted string, 0 less than output string less than 2048. Input 3, 4, checksum is 4. char1, char2, and checksum for one transmission cycle. They're formatted as binary numbers with the prefix 0b. So let's look at one where where stuff is not. How does the checksum work? The third is the checksum, which is calculated by XORing the first two values and the global checksum. Ooh. So like, so an XOR of, so we have to work backwards given 4 and these two things. We have to XOR them to get the checksum. So I have to like work backwards on the XOR. I don't think I know how to do that. Well, at least get it right to the point of. Let me look at medium. Let's at least get it figured out with everything but the checksum. char1, char2, checksum equal row on split on space, which I think is the default anyway, but it's okay. char1 just c1 equals int of char 1 from 0, 1, 2 to the end, comma, base 2. C2 equals the same deal for char 2. Now we're saying that C1 XOR C2 XOR XOR so C I don't know how to do Python XOR. Do I just type XOR or is there a None of that was very helpful. Let's at least do that much. Now, is it ORed to get the number, or is that going the other way around? No. Okay, fine, I'll search for it. Python ASCII to char. The CHR function. And there are the corrupted ones. Let me just I don't know. So for each of these digits, TV Josh says you want the ints. Well, I have the ints. What do I want with the ints? TV Josh says, check if 1 is 0, or if not logical, not it, is it 0? If you logical, not it. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I mean, sure. I could do that with each of these. If C1 equals 0, or not C1 equals 0. But then I still have to do the clever stuff that... No, bitwise not it. How do I do bitwise not? Oh, tilde x, okay. So I get there, but then how do I pull out the checksum? So like you have to use the checksum to recreate the corrupted value. That's what I don't know how to do. At least I learned about bitwise not. I'm assuming we can do an elif here. I'm assuming they won't both be corrupted. TV Josh says X caret Y. I mean, that's how you would calculate XOR between... Oh, wait a second. Is it just as simple as... and C2 equals C1. I think it's two of those ops. Two of those ops? How's that go? 43 seconds. S, it's not the right answers. Although it's almost close. All right, submit. Share my code. Hey, 25%. Is this gonna be another random number generator? Whoa. Starting off with this that I don't know what it means. Ah, says Bleg, I don't know what went wrong with mine. We got a pop in here. We got a print CHR of oct. Oh, okay. Caret is input, and then end that line. And then C equals input. And then for each input, at A equals, we've got some regex here. /s is, help me out, what is /s x in regex? And plus means one or more of that character, I think. C. That makes at A to an array of /s is non-space character. Okay. That makes the array of the 0b11 blah 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 and 0b10 blah 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 and so on. Continues to say /s lowercase is space and capitalized version of those character classes are the not versions. So /lowercase d is digit and /d is non-digit. Good deal. Tell me about the oct. $C, caret, oct, pop at A. C I know is the checksum number. Oct might be pop at A means we're taking something out of A. Then zero. This means oct is technically parse an octal number from a string, but Perl is weird because it overloads that function to also parse hex, binary, etc. It determines the base by the prefix, so 0b is binary. And $C tick foo is $C XOR foo. No, we're not even halfway through this line yet. Oh, this is count checking if it's pop at A removes the last item from at A and returns it. The last item in this case is the checksum. So pop at A removes that item. I feel like this. So XOR C with the checksum, removing the checksum from the array. That's over here. XOR C with the checksum. And that stores to S. Now then those regexes check if there is no zeros or no ones, i.e. the ASCII code is corrupted as the problem says. And then either we print CHR of oct or print character of $S for at A. I think I get it. Goes on that, but since there's a 0 in the 0b prefix, we have to say if the string matches a 0 not preceding a b. Oh, that's what this not, this tick b means, or caret b. I think I understand it well enough to move on. I don't totally understand it, but I think I understand it well enough to go on, to move forward. Says right. Okay, I call stream break. Oh, you know what? I turned on a light. I want to turn that off. I'll be right back. Right back. Okay, I like that better. Gonna switch things up now. Or maybe just call it a night for the stream. I've been going for 2 hours, but it feels longer than that somehow. Yeah, I am gonna switch up gears like I was thinking that I would do. So, for that, let's go back to scene and update channel info to open source satire. Oh, one more, you say? Okay. I can do one more before I move to something else. We got to get a good one that's not insanely hard. I agree. You know what? This is why I want to build a wrapper for Code Wars, because on Code Wars you can choose the difficulty, but you don't have the clash aspect. So I want to build like a coding game clash sort of thing for Code Wars. But yeah, okay. Not back to home. I want Clash of Code. Let's start. Close that window. I gotta take care of something real quick. I'll try to be back in time to start this one. And I am back just in time. How about that? Okay. Based on Markov chains, that's not a very encouraging start, but let's see what we get. Based on Markov chains, you must find the missing letters of an incomplete phrase using a reference phrase. The missing characters are represented by an underscore. You must return the reconstructed phrase. The way to proceed is to identify which is the most frequent letter after another one. In the phrase hello world, for example, here are the probabilities. H has E with probability 1, E has L with probability L with probability 1.0. L has L with probability 0.3, O with probability 0.3, and D with probability 0.3, and so on. You can now reconstruct H blank LLO W blank R blank D by using the best guess for the next character of that table. Important, this puzzle doesn't require to use more than one character to predict the next one. It could change the reconstruction. There's always a single answer to reconstruct a missing character. There will never be two consecutive missing characters. Every character must be considered except from underscore. At the reference phrase. Print incomplete phrase. Wait, what? They gave me the reference phrase. The reference phrase is the answer, no? Oh, that's only the case in the first example. After H, we know there's an E. After W, we know there's an O. After R, we know there's an L. Oh. Dang, this is tricky. So we need to build the Markov chain. Here we go. For Broken Vocal Cord. Hello, welcome to the chat. Saying get the letter that comes after each based on how it is in the reference, I guess. Yeah, I think that's the case. So I'm gonna build, and I think you might have to go with, choose the most likely one in cases where there's more likely. So for I character, and enumerate reference phrase. If I equals 0, we'll do something special. L if I equal length of reference phrase -1. So we have to do something special on the first and last cases. Rev equal none. Actually, I might as well break. Else we'll do... Actually, no. We don't necessarily have to do anything special for the last one, I don't think. We actually have to do the normal thing on the last one. Else... Markov equals an empty dictionary. Else we need to say that Markov at if read in Markov.keys Markov at prev that's equals 1, else Markov at prev equals 1. Wait a second. I'm not thinking correctly about the way that this dictionary is working. We need to make the dictionary so that it's like H prev equals... Okay, let's do the simpler case first. Broken vocal cord says nested dict. That is correct. Yeah, nested dict. For now, I'll just store 0. Can I just say add? Oh wait, but it's worse than that. if character in Markov at previous, then Markov at previous at character. Oops. Markov at previous at character plus equals 1. Else Markov. Broken vocal cord says, I don't think I'd be able to do this one in time. Well, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do this one in time. I'll be lucky if I generate the Markov dictionary in time. Markov at previous at character equals 1. Let's see if my Markov makes any sense after all of this. Oops. No, that's not right. Oh, because I didn't set the previous two. Yeah. Pretty crazy one for shortest mode. Yeah, I agree. Now, if character equals underscore, then we go into out string equals empty string, out string plus equals character, out string, character equals Markov import random, Markov equals random.choice of Markov at prev. Else prev equal character and out string plus equals character. This is ugly code. Print out a string. T error 0. Damn. Why did prev equal 0? I equals 0, prev equals character. Okay, print I character. Oh. Dot keys. Dot keys. Oh, 9 seconds at a time. "165 characters of Python 3. Oh, that is so dense. I don't know if I want to read that. Let me see if we got anything from Also, coming in at a cool 1231 characters. Broken Vocal Cord says, nice try though. Thank you, Broken Vocal Cord. I appreciate that. I did try hard. All right, let's read this one. AB equals open. D is that dictionary. "11 characters. I want to see those 11 characters. It's for zip A, comma, A1 through all. Oh, that's nice. Because that gives you the pairs. J4AT, very nice. Even if I don't read the rest of this, I'm already impressed. For P, comma, N in zip those. So previous, comma, next, I think is what those are. R equals D of P equals D dot get P empty dict. R at N equals R dot get N comma 0 plus 1. Oh, that's like default dict stuff. Print quote dot join n equal underscore and max. Okay, dictionary at P, key lambda of X to DP of X, very nice. Or N. For PN in zip, B0 plus BB. I think, okay, I didn't catch 100% of those characters, but I think I understand the gist of what's going on. So that's very well done by J4AT. That is a nice solution. Broken Vocal Cord comes in with, looking at this makes me feel dumb. I'm sorry to hear that. Sometimes though, you come against something real smart. I think you might feel less dumb if I took the time to like spread it out, because this could easily be 20 lines of code instead of 4. Maybe not 20. Well, yeah, it could easily be 20 lines depending on how it got spread out and how it got written. Oh, it's not going to give us the 11 characters, is it? Are they? That's unfortunate. Broken Vocal Cord says, I mean, I understand a majority of it, but I never would have been able to produce that. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I was not able to produce that. I was able to produce 1,231 characters of almost there, with some kind of bug in it that I'm not sure of. Where did it go wrong? Yeah, I didn't understand my data structures well enough. That's what tripped me up. Life is proof. Okay, I think a problem like that deserves a stream break. So here we go on the BRB screen. Ah, Mining Math Gamer comes in with the hi. I'm half back, I'm half gone. Okay, we're back. Let's check on where the chat has been. Mining Math Gamer says, what are you up to? I was doing some coding game, but I'm about to switch things up. And Broken Vocal Cord comes in with the very good answer, watching a stream of sand. That is exactly right. So what's going to happen next? I've had enough of coding game for now, so I'm going to bring you in on my cheeky open source project. It is called Fix It. That's the name of the repository. And it is, as the README would say, this is a satirical repository to contain cheeky solutions to serious problems. Mining Math Gamer says, oh yes, the Hello World repository. Well, yes, there is also a Hello World repository. And Hello World, sometimes a simple hello is all it takes. And in this we have hello.md. Eric says hi, that was me. And Wendmill said hi, that was someone I was giving a lesson on Git and GitHub. Contributions are welcome to any of these repos. But I forget why I made the test repository. But that's not important right now. But I have one in here called fix.py. I'd like to point out that we have not one, but 2 contributors to this repo, which I count as quite a win. We have, I'm going to zoom way the heck in. Def, fix economy, fix it fund equals 0. For person and people, fix it fund plus equals person.money. Person.money minus equal person.money. For person and people, if person equal Eric codes, person.money plus equal fixit funds, fixit fund equals 0. Print done. That's it. Solved the world economy. We did that on stream about a week ago. But then, there's a new issue. Performance. I love this. CGS Dev 0 commented yesterday, looping over the people array is a costly order of n complexity, where n is approximately 7.8 billion currently. We should probably looking into using B-trees to find the Eric person more efficiently. And I'm going to say, thank you. Good observation. Do you recommend, if I can spell? Oh, I can't spell. Spelling is hard, folks. Spelling is just hard. Do you recommend using a library or coding the B tree from scratch? So this is actually kind of an interesting challenge, because let's look back at the code here. We because this is Python, we can do something like define an economy as a function of define fix economy as a function of people, without saying anything at all about what the data type of people has to be. So I guess we just assumed that it was a list of names. But what we need now is more information about what the nature of this data type is. Also, I think this, for person and people, is also somewhat a costly operation, but I don't think there's any getting around it if we're going to actually collect all of the money for the Fix-It Fund. So chat, how much detail should I go into for this? What's the solution to this performance bottleneck? I'm gonna edit it right here in GitHub. I'm not gonna bother to. Whoa! The colors are all different. That is interesting. So I'm gonna sit back and see if chat has any insights for me on how to approach this performance bottleneck issue. Mining Math Gamer says up, you could create a binary tree. What do you mean up? You could, like up to you, or UP? Oh, you could create a binary tree. Typo, yeah, I get it now. Thank you, Math Gamer. Mining Math Gamer. Could create a binary tree. That would save time for searching for the person. But not for the fund, unfortunately. That's true. It wouldn't save us any time over here, or on this in this part of it. And that comes to my question in the, let's see, cancel changes. Like in the issue I said, performance. Do you recommend using a library or coding the binary tree from scratch? I guess I could just start coding a binary tree. Code. Add file. Gonna do it as a new patch. Now the question is, can I code a binary tree from memory? Mining Math Gamer says, all right, I gotta go for now. See ya. All right, see ya, Mining Math. Thanks for stopping by. I think I'm gonna use a cheat sheet here. Oh, so okay, so we've got a class node. Def init of self and data. Self.left, self.right, self.data. Def print tree of self, that's a little incomplete, I think. What does this end up doing? Okay, so there's going to be some more code along here. I think I want to be able to run this stuff. Also, before I get deep into this, do I have any buy-in from the chat? Who in the chat wants to see me? Does anyone in the chat want to see me code a binary tree? Or should I move on to something else, or call it a stream for the night. I am at your whim, chat. Sandwich Topping says, hello, what is Fixit? Fixit is my satirical repository which contains cheeky solutions to serious problems. I invite you to open an issue or pull request. For example, we have the code fix.py, which fixes the economy by giving all of the money in the world to me, obviously. And someone opened an issue looping over the people array is a costly order of n complexity, where n is approximately 7.8 billion currently. We should probably look into using binary trees to find the Eric person more efficiently. Well, anyway, as I was saying, what was I even saying? Was I even saying anything? Oh boy, it might be the time to end the stream for the night. Anyone have any last thoughts or questions before I call it for tonight? Did I edit the stream info? No, I didn't. I never did. That's not worth it. Satirical open source project. Sandwich Topping says, I suppose even with a binary tree, you'd have to iterate anyway to create it, right? Instead of an array of list, could use a dict or set of something, and then lookup would be fast. You know, that's a good point. Yeah, alternately, if we use a dict, that would make lookup fast. That actually could be an easier fix. Let's see about that. It's like we have it would just be like person equals people. I mean, Sandwich Topping says, I use dicts as lists a lot when I just need fast lookup sometimes. Lol. That's, that's valid. I kind of like that. I think if I do people.keys and people at area codes, person.money plus equals fixit fund equals 0. Okay, how is this looking? Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that changes view. I guess my email is out there. Oh well. So let me think about this. Does this make sense? I want to double check that I have the right syntax here. So let me pull up IPython. You were doing some NLP stuff before. D equals 1, 2, 3, 4. D dot keys. Yeah, that works. Except that I'm getting lost in what is the data type of my people object. So if it's like people equal Sandwich Topping says people bracket person maybe for line 4 and 5. Except I went and yeah, there we go. We could even say also this can be simplified to just 0. Come on, do the thing. All right, chat, what do we think of that? Wow, we got some heavy latency tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, let's propose changes. Sandwich Topping says, I like it, looks good, and no second iteration like before. Yeah, it doesn't have that second order and iteration through. That's an improvement. Closes. Which issue was this? Number 4. Py to use a dictionary structure instead of a list. Okay, I could merge this right now, but I'm going to give the issue opener a chance to EK and the link to pull request 23 seconds ago that will close this issue, refactor fix.py. And this is going to end up being closed as no longer relevant. The other issue we have here is solve the gender pay gap in one line of code. Any language you like, but I'm guessing Python is probably a good start. I kind of want to give something the label good first issue. What would be a good first issue in this repo? Maybe I should take an attempt at Sandwich Topping says GitHub seems like it does a lot. I haven't really seen it much. No? Yeah, GitHub does do a lot. Especially for open source. It's like the de facto place to go for open source. I mean, when I decided to make my own open source project, like there was no question in my mind that it was going to be on GitHub. That was just kind of automatic. Let's create a new issue and make this be good first issue, and we'll give it help is wanted. Sandwich Topping says doing some open source would be fun. Maybe I should move in that direction. I recommend it. If you want like a low impact way to start, actually I don't think I have a good first issue on Hello World yet. No, I should make that right now. Add your greeting to labels, good first issue, help wanted. Sandwich Time says, "Oh, those labels are really nice." Yeah, aren't those nice? And there's a good set of this is like bug, documentation, duplicate, enhancement, invalid, question, won't fix. You can edit the labels too, but I'm happy with the ones that are here. Add your greeting to, and where does it need to go? We would love to have your greeting in our greetings file located at in our greetings file located at in this repository. if you could use some help, feel free to reach out to aircodes2@gmail.com. Let's preview this. Submit. So there you go, sandwich topping. If you don't mind, starting with a Hello World repo, which I think is not a bad place to start, you are welcome to open a pull request on that file here. And the way to show anyone who may be curious, the way that would work is you could always clone the repo onto your own and make your changes and commit them and push them. But it's easier than that. If you go into hello world, hello.md, edit this file. It's like someone else says hi, with a new line after it, because that makes things easier. And then you'd be like, create a new branch for this commit and start a pull request, propose changes. Except I'm going to cancel all of this because I don't need to have someone say hello right now. Sandwich Topping says, yeah, actually a nice way to get used to GitHub. I'll think about it, and it might be fun to get into that. Yeah, I'd love it if you decide to do that. That'd be pretty cool. All right, what do we got? We got a little more time on this timer. What else is there to do in the open source world? All right, let's, even though this timer is just not strictly finished, let's go on to a stream break, and then I'll let you know whether I'm deciding to go further on into something else tonight. Oops, that's the end of my timer there. All right. Is there anybody going to listen to my story? Let's see, where were we? Oh, I want to sandwich chopping, if you're still around and you're considering getting started on GitHub with my repo, here's the link to that issue. You know, just in case. No pressure. And anyone else who wants to check it out, also you are welcome to. And with that, I think I'm gonna wind down the stream. Let's find someone to raid. Maybe someone with not that many viewers, since I'm coming in with just Sandwich Shopping says, yeah, I'm still here. Thank you. Have to decide if I want another account, and if so, what it should be. Yeah, that's always the challenge. Sounds good. Sandwich Shopping also says, sounds good. Hope you have a good evening. Yeah, let's find someone to raid. Who's that gonna be? TV Josh says, thanks for streaming. You're welcome. Hey, does anyone have a raid request? Because I'm having a hard time choosing someone to raid. I need to follow more people so that there's someone I'm following that I can raid. We can raid Miku. I mean, or maybe RW Grim. Maybe is this an ad over here? That's weird. Hey, C++ chess bot, somewhat accurate. There we go. That's the one. Okay, how do I find this? Over here. Here's the somewhat accurate. Start raid. Okay, 2 viewers ready to raid. Thanks everyone for hanging around. It's been a good one. I'm glad I streamed tonight. Yeah.